The most important thing of your growth, of your understanding, of you maturing happens in sleep. Sleep is very critical for you to make sense of what you did when you're awake. You hear a lot of people say, I sleep less, I work more. It's a fancy way of saying I'm stupid. This brings to the third important aspect, which is sleeping or sleep. Sleep is highly underrated. It stays in the realm of or in the bastion of laziness. People consider sleeping as waste of time, which is so not true. Sleep is the only mechanism a body has to recover from the stress of the day, or the act, or the awakeness, or whatever time the body and mind have spent being awake, whatever damages the body has taken mentally and psychologically or physically or physiologically. Sleep is the only way the body recovers. And we give it least attention. In fact, we have put it in a space where it sounds as if it is bad to sleep. Oversleeping is a different matter. But please know this. The most important thing for you to be in the optimal performance stage psychologically and physiologically is rest, and rest comes through sleeping. That's the only way the body gets rest. We measure one's hard work to some extent, or we hear people say that I sleep less, I work hard, or I work more. This in some matters looks very odd. It feels odd. Sleep is the only way that you even assimilate whatever has happened to you in the day or whatever your time of the acts were. Sleep is the time when the body makes sense of your experiences. The physical experiences, the mental experiences, the physical challenges or the mental aptitude, whatever happened to you. Sleep is the only way you recover. Psychologically and physiologically, both ways. It is the most important thing. We have to give its due. If you are planning to perform, if you are planning to do many things in life, if you have aspirations, anything, wants, needs, you name it, without proper sleep, nothing will happen. And sometimes you can even go on a divergence and get into some bad states of ill health, or not even achieve what you're trying to do, or get into spaces which are like completely bad or detrimental for your own good. Oversleeping is another thing. I'm just talking about sleep. You hear people talking and saying that they sleep less and work more. That's a fancy way of saying something stupid. You have to give sleep its due. A sensible person knows that when you work hard, when you work and give in a lot of intensity to your work, again it's physical and mental, psychological and physiological, your body should be given the time to rest. But know this, that is not the only thing which happens in sleep. The most important thing of your growth, of your understanding, of you maturing happens in sleep. All that you gather when you're awake, all gets assimilated in the right sense and get categorized through your feelings and emotions and stays back in your memory. And all this happens in sleep. There are other permutations and combinations your mind runs through with all the experiences you had. All that happens in sleep, in your subconscious level. When you're sleeping, your mind is at work of putting all your experiences together. Information, data, sense, sensibility, you name it. All that gets digested during your sleep. So if you're sleeping healthy, all that information, the body is able to digest it, categorize it, and then you also role play in your subconscious mind with all this information, which you would not have experienced in your reality. And the possibilities of the information you have, the probabilities or the, let's say, or the opportunities which come through your sensibilities or experiences in your life which you went through on that day, all of those things get crunched and they become your intelligence or even wisdom. All this happens in your sleep. And when you go about doing your act the next day or the following time, whenever that happens in future, all that you are pulling back from your mental alertness or awareness or your data bank of your mental aptitude would have all got crunched at sleep. So there's no point in you going and gathering all kinds of informations and experiences and having less sleep when you're not able to digest it properly and then have it scattered. Many things you forget, many things you don't make sense of because you hardly had any sleep. So sleep is very critical for you to make sense of what you did when you're awake. So give sleep its due. The most important thing, you learn as much as you can, you acquire as much as you can, all kinds of informations and experiences. What use is it if it is not gathered together properly and digested in a proper fashion? And then at least it has to remain in your head so that you can recall all this information, because we only grow through our experiences, sense and sensibilities. If these are not maximized or understood for the essence of what they are, then how much of a person do you think you will become? So you have seen people who are like 50, 60 years old, who have more experience in life, but they don't seem to have any knowledge, no wisdom, no intelligence. Why? Because they did not give their mind its space for it to rest and use all this data and make some sense of it. So sleep is very critical. All your hard work, all your experiences will all be put together in a sensible way and categorized or cataloged in your head for the future to come and use it as information. All this happens during sleep. So you hear a lot of people say, I sleep less, I work more. It's a fancy way of saying I'm stupid. You don't have to act every time to show you're hardworking or you're busy. Busyness happens here. When you're mentally thinking of what's happening around you, understanding situations around you, that is when you become smart. When you're physically active, understand this. Everything you do on the physical sense is only gathering. What is it that you're gathering? Information, experience, sense. That's what you're gathering. And if you don't give your mentality its time to crunch it and make sense of it, what use is it? So understand. Try and make sure that you sleep in such a way that when you wake up, you're energized and ready to go about your day. Because a good sleep will wake you up in a confident state of mind. I've noticed that. You would notice it too. Just go back and see those days when you woke up really confident for no reason. You just woke up happy, confident, because you had a good sleep. Sleep is very critical. Give its due. It's very simple, but it's very important. And it is the most ignored thing. And when you don't have sleep, or when you're trying to beat sleep of thinking that you're going to gather more, let's say, information through your actions, all that you're doing is putting strain on your body. You're putting strain on your mental abilities. So if you put strain on your body, I don't know how much it is going to experience a sensible action or information, or how much of it is made sense in your head either. Sleep is very critical. Probably the most critical one. For all the hard work you do, that's the place it's going to park. That's the place it's going to be cataloged. During that process of sleep is when you're becoming smarter, intelligent, and wiser. So sleep well. Don't oversleep, but sleep well. And the last aspect of all this is your physical ability to keep your body sound. Now, this is a no-brainer. Everybody says, everybody knows that you have to exercise your body. It's like a machine. It's a biological machine. It needs its own practices. It needs to be managed well. You cannot be in a sedentary state or in a lifestyle where you have very less or almost nil movement. Because the more you move your body, not to the extreme, there is a good flow of oxygen and your blood flows around, keeps you healthy, keeps your organs healthy. And when your digestive system is healthy, when you are healthy, your mind is healthy. So you have to keep your body at its optimum performance level at any given point in time. Again, to keep it to that level, breathing, meditation, sleep, physical activity. You don't have to go and lift weights or be a gym rat or whatever they call them. But to at least get to acts wherein you're physically active and you can go about your day without feeling that your body itself is hindering you from doing stuff. Keep that as a minimum yardstick. Anything above that is always very good. Because the more physical activities you have, and when you look physically strong, you look confident, you look active, and you will attract more people towards you because you will be a radiant physical presence. So you could be physical in many ways. Going to gym is one way, doing some basic exercises at your own house is a good way, have some hobby, play some sport, trekking, I don't know, anything which involves your body. But make sure you give it at least half an hour every day so that your body is strong. In a healthy body stays a healthy mind, and vice versa. So for us to embark on this adventure of life, there are many more things to be done. Communications, marketing, how do we understand what's happening around us, and how do we know how to manage people, how to understand situations. There are so many things. Each one of these has a million topics inside them. But for us to get to that stage, first we need to have these four clean and clear. I'm trying to work on these vlogs in very fundamental fashion, wherein I'm trying to place some important foundational pillars on which we can build some complex abilities and then take it to a level where we all can more or less do anything we want in the sense which is positive and good for human beings, not anything which is outside the realm of morality and ethics, because these are the yardsticks, these are the two yardsticks which you should never cross. You stay within morals and ethics, trust me, there wouldn't be a better experience you would have in life, and you would be such a strong influence for your own society. You have added so much value for your own existence. Your presence itself would have made so much sense to the rest of the people around you, or most of the people around you. So let's understand and get to these fundamentals right. I have kept most of my vlogs at the macro level. There is no deep dive in meditation or sleep or in physical activity or in let's say anger, anguish, you name it. I've tried to keep it in a very macro level so that we understand what these are. Whatever interests you, you go dig deeper and find out. Because we don't have to. In fact, we don't have. Once we understand the basics of it, we just have to know that much. We are not being experts in all kind of psychological and physiological things to at least make a life sensible. You just need to be aware of what is what and build your own story around it. That's the best way to go by. You cannot learn everything on this earth. We can only know what is good for us, and that's the right thing to do. These 4 things are the cornerstones which you have to make sure that you are good at, so that you can build a successful and a satisfactory life. Thank you for listening to me. I'm Raj Khan.